Hey there, everyone. Good Tuesday evening to you. It is Weather for Weather Geeks time. What a fantastic day we had today, and we're going to have another one coming up on our Wednesday. Thursday looks pretty good as well. But first, let's take a look backwards. Today is May the 9th, and this is a red letter day in weather history for our area, and not for a reason that most of us remember fondly. A few snow events on today's date, including the biggest one on record in the month of May. This wasn't our latest snowfall on record, that's May 16th. But on May 9th, 1966, we had a whopping 5.4 inches worth of snow. More recently, we had accumulating snow on May 9th in both 2020 and 2021. That was Mother's Day in 2021. We had accumulating snow and temperatures mostly in the 30s. Some ugly weather on today's date in weather history. But today, anything but ugly. We reached our average high for this time of the year. That is in the upper 60s to around 70, making it 4 days in a row of pretty nice temperatures after that long stretch of cold. Of course, it was just a week ago that we had a record for the coldest May 2nd on record with 44. The best we could do for a high a week ago today. A couple of severe thunderstorm watches on the weather map this evening. One in parts of North Carolina, extreme southern Virginia. The other one's out across the Ozarks, southwestern Missouri, heading out into parts of Kansas as well. There's been some hail and wind damage with these storms pushing through there. We're losing the daylight, but if you pay attention carefully to the visible satellite, this plume right here, this is not actually cloud cover. This is smoke. High-altitude wildfire smoke from wildfires originating over Canada, where it's very warm compared to the average right now. And so it's been a hazy afternoon in Toronto, Niagara Falls, the Buffalo area over towards the Finger Lakes. And it's going to be possible, just before sunset this evening, if you pay attention to that northern and northeastern sky, it may look a little hazy. It'll be pretty thin. And this is, of course, way up in the atmosphere, so it's no health concern or anything. But we may get grazed a little bit by some haze in our northern and northeastern sky that may be noticeable early this evening. If you're an allergy sufferer, despite the nice weather, this is the time of the year that you're usually pretty unhappy when we have a sunny day, because the pollen count is high with no rain to wash it out in the last 24 hours or so. The primary culprits, mulberry, oak, and birch. Grass pollen is getting up to the moderate category here in mid-May. And as we get into the true heart of summer, that's when weed pollen becomes more and more of an issue. All right, we're not going to have many clouds in the sky over the next couple of days. In fact, pretty much a full supply of sunshine, what I call sometimes a Chamber of Commerce day. That's an old weather saying, because local chambers of commerce would take pictures of their local architecture and buildings and parks and things like that on a day like we'll have on Wednesday for use in brochures and things like that. But yeah, however you want to describe it, it's just going to be a perfect day on Wednesday. Thursday looks great as well. Just a few fair weather clouds, upper 70s. More in the way of clouds by Friday and the weekend, but I don't think we're looking at a lot of raindrops at this point. We'll talk about that momentarily, but real quickly, we'll zoom through the next 48 hours or so. High pressure almost right overhead on Wednesday. This high drifts off to the southeast on Thursday, and we'll get into a little bit more of a southeasterly wind, which will help usher in warmer temperatures. We'll get back into the upper 70s, a little taste of summer on Thursday. And then the clouds increase by Friday morning. This next system will probably bring us a scattering of showers by Friday afternoon. I don't think it's much, and I don't think it'll be much over the weekend as well. Our weekend forecast today trended a little drier than we had it yesterday, but this is still a fairly low confidence thing at this point. Stay tuned if you have outdoor plans this weekend. I know many of you do in mid-May. Probably the highest chance, the way it looks right now anyway, the highest chance of rain for the whole weekend, maybe early Saturday morning. The rest of the weekend, it doesn't look like much right now, but we're not going to be able to rule out just yet some spotty showers during the course of the weekend. All right, so pool season is not going to begin anytime real soon. Now, this is a pretty comfortable pattern coming up. We're not going to see any high heat. We're getting into the time of the year that's not all that unusual to see highs in the lower middle 80s. I don't see a lot of that coming our way through at least the next 12 to 14 days. I foresee a lot of highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s. On balance, it may be a little cooler than the average. But, the kind of heat that we can see in May that, of course, is more common later in the warm weather season, that may wait until the end of May, maybe closer to Memorial Day, before we have true heat of the magnitude that we had a few times, in fact 6 times, in the month of April. We had 6 80-degree days, including a couple of highs in the mid-80s. I don't see that in this kind of pattern, at least for the next couple of weeks. That'll do it for me tonight on Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's meet back here, same time, same place, on Wednesday.